oh, but there's nothing in their behavior or how their countenance and how they conduct themselves that show that they actually really feel this with me.
I don't want to be the one to drive up and find you, like, dead. You know, there's, like, animals and shit out here.
I don't want to walk in dead and green with these kids. I don't want to walk in dead and green with these kids.
Henry's cold lack of real empathy is displayed here when he mentions how inconvenient it would be to walk in and find someone, by which he means Robert, about whom he and his friend are casually in the midst of describing as being mentally unstable, crazy, or even suicidal, resulting in the possibility of Henry walking in and finding someone green and really dead.
I don't want to walk in dead and green with these kids. I don't want to walk in dead and green with these kids.
I don't want to be the one to drive up and find you, like, dead. You know, there's, like, animals and shit out here. Okay. Oh.
Good talk, Rob. See you next Thursday, asshole.
I don't want to walk in dead and green with these kids.
You might get it from a dark empath. It's almost like they identify your emotion and say, like, aren't we done with this? Like, is this feeling done? The other thing you might get it from a dark empath. It's almost like they identify your emotion and say, like, aren't we done with this? Like, is this feeling done?
I realize is that I've been through this before with him, and why does it constantly repeat?
You might get it from a dark empath. It's almost like they identify your emotion and say, like, aren't we done with this? Like, is this feeling done? And so, remember, passed away. Are you okay? That seems really hard. The person's still struggling after 3 months. A person who only has cognitive but not emotional empathy would say something like, we're not done with this yet, this whole sad thing. And so they identified it, but to them it's like, come on, let's just... I can feel your pain. Really? Then do something about it.
We listen to people, we hold people in our presence, and we care for them. And stepping into somebody else's shoes and understanding them is a great act of generosity. To look at other perspectives, to embrace other realities, to embrace diversity, and to become tolerant. And the most important question is, what is important for him or her in front of me? And the intention is to stay connected whatever happens. We're making choices about the behaviors that we bring into the world. And the choices that we make have a direct impact, the relationships that we form, and the quality of our lives, of our lives, of our lives, of our lives.
We know a lot of bad abusive relationships reduces your ability to act because the only input they're getting is from each other. And if I'm being told I'm stupid, all that stuff starts to wear on people, to escalate. You can see all that language, all that, where you're rattling over the same things over and over, impact how people behave. and it brings down their normal personality.
We discussed numerous times, and we have to obviously reiterate it. Yeah, because I'm so stupid. We've discussed numerous times. We've discussed numerous times, and we have to obviously reiterate it.
So like their former self is gone. Who's gone? What happened to them? They're not who they used to be.
Understand that empathy is socially desirable. Therefore, they use their cognitive empathy to help them fake affective empathy. One easy way to tell when this is happening is to look at the actions of the narcissist. Empathy leads to helping behavior, but with the narcissist, it doesn't. They believe that simply pretending to feel what other people feel is enough to trick people into believing that they possess affective empathy. They are not compelled to deliver assistance.
I have it every day because every day is miserable to me.
That's something I want to talk to you about, and I've been trying to finish my video thing for you that you can show. Perhaps take it to your therapist and she can consider it.
Because it doesn't matter. I have it every day because every day is miserable to me.
Right, that's different. That's something I want to talk to you about, and I've been trying to finish my video thing for you that you can show. Perhaps take it to your therapist and she can consider it.
Because it doesn't matter.
If I make you upset, I understand. That's why I don't see you, because I don't want to make you upset. So if you don't want to see me because I make you upset, I understand, right? But I'm saying that that's a separate issue from your being unhappy and feeling miserable. There should be a recourse you could try to make yourself feel better.
So guilty.
Love is protecting and guarding the vulnerabilities of the person you care about. So when someone's shared with you a vulnerability, the family and the pain, you'd never bring that out in an argument. Dark empath will do that all day, all night, because it's a way to control you. And now you're devastated, you're feeling vulnerable, and now they're coming at you about how there's something wrong with your family, so now there's something wrong with you. It feels plausible, and a person is now in an incredibly vulnerable position in that relationship.
Times people live in that first moment, and they go, no, he was empathic. He said that must have been really hard for you. Isn't that empathy?
It's cognitive empathy, but there doesn't seem to be, again, that emotional response to it, and certainly not that compassionate response.
The human body produces its own heroin. In fact, when the fight or flight instinct is activated in the hypothalamus, your body releases endorphins, dopamine, and norepinephrine. That is heroin, cocaine, and amphetamine, all at once.
Okay, great. Are we having the Afghan version of this conversation where in New York we would have gotten to the point like 5 minutes ago?
There is a reason to believe that a person can get addicted to this type of high.
Watch it and keep around. You cannot tell me what to say. Yeah, you did. I'm not going to fucking listen to it. Don't tell me what to fucking say. Go ahead, cuff me. Beat me all you want. You cannot tell me what to say.
Out of it. Oh, backing down to me. Shut the fuck up.
I do not need you to tell me what to do.
Don't tell me what to fucking say.
The human body produces its own heroin. In fact, when the fight or flight instinct is activated in the hypothalamus, your body releases endorphins, dopamine, and norepinephrine. That is heroin, cocaine, and amphetamine, all at once.
Okay, great. Are we having the Afghan version of this conversation where in New York we would have gotten to the point like 5 minutes ago?
There is a reason to believe that a person can get addicted to this type of high.
Watch it and keep around. You cannot tell me what to say. Yeah, you did. I'm not going to fucking listen to it. Don't tell me what to fucking say. Go ahead, cuff me. Beat me all you want. You cannot tell me what to say.
Out of it. Oh, backing down to me. Shut the fuck up.
I do not need you to tell me what to do.
Don't tell me what to fucking say.
I've never heard the concept or idea of being addicted to a negative emotion. people talk to me about being addicted to dopamine and pleasure and, and all those things, and, like masturbation and sugar, but the thought of being addicted to a negative emotion is
what do people do when they feel an emotion? What do? They rely on something outside of them to make that emotion go away. So whether it's the masturbation or the pornography or the gambling or the shopping or the sugar or the whatever, it's all because they're trying to make that feeling go away, and they're using something outside of them. So then there is some emotion. 75 to 90% of every person that goes to a healthcare facility in the Western world goes in because of psychological or emotional stress. That's 8 or 9 out of 10. And emotional stress and psychological stress are the ones that tend to be the most harmful. Because if it's not T-Rex that's chasing you, but it's your coworker in the next cubicle, what was once very adaptive becomes very maladaptive. And the rush of those adrenal hormones become kind of addictive to people. And they use the problems, they use the conditions in their life to reaffirm their addiction to that emotion. They need their enemy to feel hatred. And if their enemy died, they'd still feel hatred, or they'd find another one. They need the bad relationship, they need the bad job in order to feel, and that's why it's hard to change. And people become addicted to the life they don't even like. And so if you can turn on the stress response just by thought alone, by thinking about your problems, then that's the truth. You can become addicted to your own thoughts. Those familiar emotions, the body starts signaling the brain, of memories, or to think certain ways and to make certain choices, do certain things, crave certain experiences just to feel that same emotion. And many people will tell the story of why they feel that way based on some past experience. And it's usually not in the recent past, it's usually many years ago.
Like a toxic relationship.
How long ago was 9/11? This really sticks in my mind. Okay, I asked the year because it was that long ago that you would treat me that way and speak to me that way and just discard people. It was so long ago.
And they'll tell the story of that past. And in psychology, the latest research on memory shows that 50% of that story isn't even the truth. They're making it up because they don't have the same brain as they had then. And so then people are reliving a miserable life they never even had. So what is that point then for a person when they say, the only person that this emotion of hatred or anger or frustration or resentment, the only person that this is hurting is me.
So here's the thing. Think of your feelings like on this vertical scale. And way down here is death or catatonia or something. And then one notch up is depression. And obviously there are degrees of depression, and it's a terrible place to get stuck. And if something you do or some therapy you try helps you go from depression up to anger, that's easy to do. It's actually pretty easy to get somebody angry. And it feels good at first because it gets you off the bottom of depression. When you're hovering at the bottom of the emotional scale, anger and rage are a step in the right direction. But it's a mistake to think that anger is the solution. And I think this idea that feeling your feelings is inherently constructive is just not true. There's a time when we need to get in touch with our feelings and a time to be angry, but if anger isn't transformed pretty quickly into some clarity and some peace and some action, it'll just take you right back down the vertical scale, isolated, depressed, and scary for other people to be around.
We see people just humiliating, shaming each other, name-calling, belittling, putting down. And I really think it's because two things. One, it's a really powerful way to discharge anger and pain and discomfort. So I think one, because it feels good.
The human body produces its own heroin. In fact, when the fight or flight instinct is activated in the hypothalamus, your body releases endorphins, dopamine, and norepinephrine. That is heroin, cocaine, and amphetamine, all at once.
Okay, great. Are we having the Afghan version of this conversation where in New York we would have gotten to the point like 5 minutes ago?
There is a reason to believe that a person can get addicted to this type of high.